All right, let's get right into it. Today we are unpacking a really powerful concept from the Quran called rushd. And I want you to know, this isn't some vague, abstract idea. The source material lays it out as something incredibly precise, almost like a form of spiritual physics, a blueprint for how to move through life without losing your way.
And it all kicks off with this really radical premise. The universe isn't some random accident. It's actually an engineered solution to a fundamental problem. That single idea changes everything. It tells us that our existence has a purpose, a direction, and, believe it or not, its own set of operating principles.
So, what's the problem that the universe is designed to solve? Well, it all comes down to the human inner drive, what the Quran calls the nafs. Think of it as the very core of you, the engine that carries you through life. And the goal? The goal is to make sure that journey, that motion, is completely lossless.
But here's the catch, right? That motion is inherently unstable. The nafs, this carrier of our life's momentum, is always at risk. It can get twisted up by desire, scattered by fear, or just collapse under pressure. And that, right there, is the central challenge of being human. How do you keep moving forward without completely falling apart?
The source material points to two major ways this goes wrong. On one hand, you've got blind acceleration. This is what the Quran calls the commanding nafs. It just rockets forward with no guidance, and you know what happens next. It crashes. On the other hand, you have endless regret. This is the reproaching nafs, which gets stuck spinning its wheels, caught in a loop of guilt and blaming, going absolutely nowhere. Either way, it's a total loss. So, if those are the ways we fail, what does success actually look like? This is where we shift from the problem to the solution. The Quran gives a very specific name for this ideal state of being, rushd. It's a condition of coherent, stable, and totally lossless motion. And let's be really clear here. We're not just talking about being a good person in some generic sense. We're talking about achieving a very specific, functional state of transport through the world. So what is this state actually called? Now, before we get the official definition, it's absolutely crucial to know what rushd is not. It is not about what you believe. It's not something you just automatically get when you turn 40. It is not a PhD in theology, and it is definitely not a title or a position of authority. Rushd is none of those things. It's a functional state of being. It's accessible to anyone, but it's guaranteed to no one. And here it is. This is the core of our whole discussion. Rushd is the lossless alignment of your inner self, your nafs, with the living Qur'an. It's a state where your movement through life stays perfectly coherent from the moment you start to the moment you finish. Your momentum isn't eaten up by desire or shattered by fear. It's a state of perfect, guided transport. Okay, so how in the world do you achieve this state? Well, the source material shows us that rushd isn't just a single event. It's a complete system. Think of it like an operational circuit that has two very distinct phases. Let's break down how it works. The first phase we see with the prophet Ibrāhīm. The verse here says he was given his rushd before he ever had his big public confrontations. Now, this is so important. What it means is that rushd starts as an initial alignment, a correct orientation that you get before you're thrown into the chaos of the world. Now, let's contrast that with the second phase, which we see with the companions of the cave. They ask for rushd after they've already left a corrupt and hostile society behind. This shows rushd in a different light, as a state of preservation, something you need to maintain your coherence when you're already under the stress of a hostile environment. And this is the real aha moment. These aren't two different kinds of rushd. They are two phases of one single circuit. The Ibrāhīm state is all about getting your alignment right before the storm hits so you can act decisively. The cave state is about preserving that alignment after you're in the middle of it, making sure you don't fall apart. It's a complete system for navigating reality. But what powers this whole circuit? I mean, where does this alignment even come from? The source is very specific about this. The medium matters. You see, achieving rushd isn't just about the information you have in your head. It's about how you're connected to the source of that information. And this source draws a really sharp line here. On one side, you have what you could call inert scripture, a book on a shelf. It's just stored information. It's all potential, no energy. But on the other side, you have living recitation, active guidance, a command that you actually carry and engage with. And that's what turns potential into a live current. That's what activates the circuit.
This verse here is presented as the command that flips the switch. The instruction to the prophet Yahya is to hold the book with strength. Now, holding here doesn't mean just possessing it. It means an active, powerful coupling. It's about interfacing with the guidance so intensely that it literally becomes the new operating system for your inner self.
So when you put this all together, what you're looking at isn't just a moral code. It's a complete system with principles that operate almost like laws of physics. Let's boil this all down into one final, really clear analogy. Okay, here's how it all locks in. Rushed isn't some vague quality. Think of it as a state of perfect conductance for the soul. The Qur'an, when it's recited and lived, becomes the field that provides the guiding force. And the world? The world is simply the channel that this perfectly guided energy flows through. So let's recap the key takeaways. First, rushed is a precise, functional state of lossless motion, not just some fuzzy idea. Second, it works like a two-phase circuit. You get aligned before you face the chaos, and you preserve that alignment while you're in it. Third, this alignment is stable. It's irreversible because you're no longer just reacting to things. And finally, and this is so important, the whole system is powered up only through an active, powerful engagement with the Qur'an as a living guide. And that brings us to the final, really provocative question that the source material leaves us with. If the ultimate goal is the state of perfect alignment, this perfect conductance, then the question is no longer just about reading the Qur'an or even just believing in it. The real question becomes, when will you become it?